Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML F4. We are here tonight for Season 5, Round 2 of the Championship as we take in the Italian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. My name is James Head, going to be taking you through the stream once again on my own. We have got Conti doing the F5 stream, who was due to be alongside me tonight. However, you're stuck with me for an hour and a half, and I really hope that is absolutely fine by you, and hopefully it is fine by all of the drivers as well, who I'm sure are going to produce a very good race, of course, out on track tonight, as we are at the Temple of Speed in Italy. And looking back on what actually happened from last week in Bahrain, just need to get up these standings now, and that's the driver lineup, so I need to find the standings, and it was Ahmadi, of course, who took the win last time out in Bahrain. The AlphaTauri in first on 30 points, Slash finished in second, and Mitchell in third. Well, what did that do to the standings? Well, everything really didn't change. Ahmadi out on top on 30 points with TTG Slash, the reserve, in second on 25. Mitchell in third on 20, with Bunty in fourth on 17, and Graham rounding off the top 5 on 15 points. Kermit in 6th on 14, Storm in 7th on 13, Atlas Copo on 8th on 12, AJ in 9th on 11, and Scuba Steve and Secret Dundee both picking up 10 points. Secret Dundee, I believe, or Scuba Steve, one of the two, picked up the fastest lap of the race last time out. Tunturi Paragna, really hope I'm going to get this pronunciation right as the season goes on. He's on 8 points, and Avibrim Mike is on 7 and 13th, and Key is in 14th on 6th. Yana, Maximus, Cannibal, Jeff Dan, Cowboy, and Invictus not picking up any points from last week in Bahrain. And we've got to, on a separate note, I've got to wish Invictus well. Currently recovering with COVID at this moment in time, so hopefully he will have a speedy recovery. Hopefully it will be all good from his perspective, and hopefully that will seem to be a very good recovery from his perspective. So we are thinking of you, of course, Invictus. If you're watching this, of course, I'm sure you will enjoy this from the comfort, hopefully, of your own bed, and listening to me waffle on for the next hour and a half. And, of course, in terms of the Constructors' standings, AlphaTauri out on top on 40 points, with Alpine in second on 32, Mercedes in third, tied with Haas on 17, with Aston Martin in fifth on 15, along with Red Bull, Williams in seventh on 14 points, with Alfa Romeo in eighth on 13, McLaren in ninth on 10, and just like in TTML F1, Ferrari in 10th on 0 points. The one of the only constructors not to pick up some points so far this season as we come towards the Temple of Speed course in Italy. And because I am solo, I'm going to be trying to take a couple of breaks in between as we go through the session, so I really hope you are on board with that, and really hope you are going to enjoy, of course, tonight's F4 race. Of course, F5 is also going to be live. TTG Conti taking you through that one. That is going to be live very shortly indeed on the League Racing TV channel, if it is not already. And give him some love, please, because it is his first solo commentary in English, which is absolutely brilliant. He was due to join alongside me, of course, in F4. James Boyle couldn't make it. Buck is off the face of the earth at the minute, and hopefully they're going to be setting up the stream very soon indeed, and hopefully we'll see Conti in due course setting up the stream on League Racing TV, which should be about a minute or two out in terms of the drivers. Just looking through the Discord to see if we are missing anyone at this stage. We are just waiting on either Bryn Mike and on Jeffrey. And yes, if you could throw me an invite, Scuba Steve, I see you there in the Discord if you're listening. Throw me over an invite. I could do with one. You never know what these lobbies could do here on the Codemasters game. Just wait on either Bryn Mike and on Jeffrey to join the lobby. I believe we've got one of them in, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's Tunturi Paragna. I tried to type in his name and it didn't come up, which was very strange indeed, and that's why he had to be invited a little bit later than scheduled. But of course, we have to really see what this race is going to be about, of course, at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, and of course known as the Temple of Speed. 75% of this lap can be taken flat out, of course, and really hoping that is going to be a fantastic race. Of course, that is coming up, of course, next week in real life, but around what seems to be a bootleg shaped track. It is a bootleg shaped track, and it's 5.7 kilometers and then 3.6 miles, 11 turns awaiting the drivers out on track. Of course, the 3 DRS zones, the 2 DRS zones I should say, one down the start finish straight down into the Rettifilio chicane, one down through the Curva Curva del Seraglio, that's it. nearly forgot it. Curva del Somalio down into Porto Scari. That's the second DOS, so of course 11 corners out on track. And of course Parabolica going to be renamed the Curva Alboreto, Michele Alboreto, of course, 1985-1986. He was a Ferrari driver. He recently passed away because of complications with COVID, I think. So Curva Alboreto was going to be renamed from Parabolica to that corner in tribute of Michele Alboreto as we come here to Italy in real life. We are just waiting on 1 more minute apparently for the race to begin. So I really hope you are patient indeed. And looking at everyone, F5 looks like it's going to be live. Everyone now getting going for F5, and F4 of course going to be live F5 is already live, I should say, and really good to see you all tuning in. I'm going to have a tune in actually to the comment section and see what you guys are saying. And is Invictus racing today? No, unfortunately not. He is ill because of COVID. We are wishing him well, of course, from everyone here at League Racing TV. Invictus not racing tonight, but I promise you, if he's fit enough, he is going to be back next week racing in, of course, Britain, I think it is next week, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look at the calendar just to confirm that. And I'm completely and utterly wrong. It's Spain next week. It is Spain next week, of course, for F4. And hopefully going to be a fantastic race, of course, next week in Spain at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. I've got a little bit of an announcement maybe to make at the end of the stream as well. Certainly, it'll be over the weekend. It will come up on my Twitter, so if you do want to tune in for that, you can. But we are about to get going. 20 seconds awaiting these drivers then out on track. F4 is about to begin. F5 also about to begin. I see that is live now on the channel as well. Bunty getting some support as well. Jibby Storm has just popped up into the comment section as well. Hello James, how are you, mate? I'm doing really, really well, thank you indeed. Hopefully you are all keeping well and safe at this promised time, and it's good to see more likes on the stream than F1 last night. TTML F4 though about to begin, short qualifying about to begin, 18 minutes worth, and because we've got a near full grid, I think we've got 17 drivers here, the promise of traffic in qualifying is going to be quite high because it is a very short track. It's like Zandvoort, to be honest. Zandvoort, very short of track. You saw 3 practice sessions earlier on, very short of room there. And Italy is very similar in terms of the nature, in terms of the stature of the track as well. Of course, unlike the Netherlands track, unlike Zandvoort, we've been here every single year in Formula 1. And Zandvoort, we're returning to for the first time in 46 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Looking them at the comments as well. Key saying Conti will smash it doing the comms solo. Yeah, he totally will. And you've got to give him some love as well when the F5 stream goes live. But, and it is live, in fact, now it's just gone live, the TTML F5 stream, so you can go on and tune in for that if you want. If you want to have us on a double setup, of course, you can go and do that as well. I do not mind whatsoever. But we are about to begin in qualifying. And 17 drivers awaiting the guys, 17 drivers, I should say, are waiting to come out onto the track. A couple of familiar names from, well, quite a few familiar names from last week. Of course, Armadi, probably going to be one of the first men to actually come out. As soon as I said that, he's now coming out on a set of medium compacted tyres. So Armadi, of course, race winner last time out in Bahrain, currently the championship leader, and the championship leader is the first man to come out on track. And he'll be hoping for a very, very good result indeed. The AlphaTauri, of course, will be the class above the rest, I would think, here tonight. We've got the likes of AJ, we've got the likes of Atlas Coppo, who can provide a very good result as well. Coreboy, I think, could do quite well around here in Italy as well. But Armadi is the favourite coming into tonight. There's no shadow of a doubt about it. The Scotsman will be hoping for a very good result, maybe 2 out of 2, like we saw with Tom last night in TTML F1. And of course, if you missed any of the action last night on TTML, you can tune in for that after the live stream to finish tonight for TTML F4 and F5. And because I've got no co-commentator as well, I may as well just say this now. There's going to be no interviews. My voice was absolutely shot by the end of last night, and I would imagine it's going to be shot by the same. So there's going to be no interviews. We will get co-coms, of course, back next week. But with 16 minutes and 30 seconds to go, 20 seconds to go if you are being picky, running down in towards Ascari, Armadi on his first lap, and he's looking to probably go in and around the 118, 119 mark, maybe on a set of medium compound tyres. We should be seeing towards the top end of the 118s from the quick guys, from the slower guys, maybe in the mid-pack, maybe a 119, maybe a mid-119, possibly out of that. But coming through the final quarter, Will the race be exciting this Saturday? I think so. The trials and tribulations of Zandvoort will be needed indeed. However, we'll focus on this lap, and I'll come and answer that question in a little bit more detail later on. I'm a Diva running down in towards turn number 1, 200 odd mile an hour, running down in towards the rest field chicane, gets caught on the curb, coming through turn 1, through turn 2, and now coming through Curva Grande at turn number 3, and he's going to fly through this section of the track, the quickest section of the track, without, of course, the chicanes being in the way. And that comes through the end of the first sector. It's 26.3 through the first sector for Marmadine. The Scotsman will be hoping for a very good result. However, he will not be hoping for a very good lap on this occasion because he's just invalidated. Coming through the left-hand chicane of turn 4 and 5 through the first half of the Della Roggia chicane. Imad now is pretty much out of this, well, not out of this session, he's certainly out of that lap. Certainly, Kermit has just started up on a lap, and Ray Meader is making his debut here tonight, I believe, in the Ferrari. And good to see two Ferraris here, of course, Cannibal being the other one. He's currently on his out lap, but Ray Meader now coming through in towards the middle sector, through the second Lesbo. Takes up very nicely indeed, now coming through the Curva del Serralio. On the run down in towards the Ascari chicane. Expect a random 53 middle sector, I think, from Ray Meader here. Yeah, 53.3 through the middle sector. As now Ray Meader comes through Ascari, through turn 8, through turn 9, and now the exit of turn 10. And we saw last night quite a few spins there coming through Ascari. Certainly, I think it was Mashiro that spun, or one of the other drivers, certainly in F1, had spun last night. And if that's anything to go by, that corner might catch just people out as Ray Meader now comes through. Turn 11 through Parabolica on the run to the line. The lap time is a 1:20.7. You will see quicker lap times than that for Schuer tonight, as Bunty is now coming through the final corner. He is off that time at the minute. Kermit as well, just in front of him. And Kermit actually goes 7/10 quicker than Ray Meader. So good lap there by Kermit. Goes quickest, 20 flat from Ray Meader in second. Bunty there in third. Didn't get a proper lap in, I've got to be honest there. Flame Chapel coming through the middle sector. Imadi has just started up on a lap as well, 26.4, currently his personal best. Atlas Coppola though running to the line, and he goes third with 21.9. A little bit disappointing so far from Atlas Copo. But of course, these are only the first runs. 53.3 through the middle sector, by the way, for Imadi. Hasn't invalidated this time, but he has gone for a spin. Imadi into the wall, might be rear end damage on that car as well. Hits the wall very hard indeed. And on the exit of Ascari, that's what I was on about. Ascari will catch people out, and Imadi, our defending champ, our championship leader, I should say, is out of the session, and now runs coming through Ascari. He recovers the car, but luckily for him, he is still in this session. Kermit the Bad on top, Ray Meader second, Cannibal in third. If you are just tuning in, Graham Chappell are running to the line, and that's more like it. That's the sort of times we want to be seen. A 19.5 from Graham Chappell. He is top of the order for now, and Yana has just got into second as well for the 19.7. As Invictus has just came into the comment section, we are wishing you well, of course, Invictus. Hopefully you're watching this from the comfort of your own bed, and I wouldn't think of anything else than to lie in bed while riddled with COVID and watching TTML F4. I think it's the nicest thing you could do on earth. Graham Chappell the on top, Yana in second, Kermit in third. Jeffrey didn't get an invite. You did, I believe, off me, if I'm not mistaken. If you didn't, have a check in your notification. You might have got an invite from me. If not, I can invite you in. Obviously, we've got to have the admin, I think, to give us permission to do that. Best thing I could do right now. I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. And of course, it is only me in the commentary box tonight. So I'm going to have to fend for myself, I'm afraid. Oh, and we've already seen Cannibal out the session. Just looking into the left-hand side. Didn't see that on my screen, actually. Cannibal, though, out of the session already. 20.9. He'll be hoping that that P6 is good enough to put him into the top 10. However, he's just been knocked down to P7 because AJ has just gone into third with a 1:19.8. And he, I think, might be sandbagging a little, to be honest, out on track. But AJ will be hoping for a very much quicker lap than that. See who else is on the lap. I'm a Cowboy, in fact, is running very low gear. Is running very an 8th gear there, and he did invalidate on that lap. Cowboy, Storm actually now coming through the middle sector. He's got Key just in front of him as well, coming through the Curva del Svalio. We'll match on board with Key, and 53.1 through the middle sector from Key. Will he unlock himself coming through Ascari? Very, very close to running over the track limits there, to be honest, from Key's perspective, but now runs down in towards Parabolica, or the Corral Barretto. Either or will do. Graham Chappell currently out on top. Maximus has just put him up to second, 19.6, about 8,000 off on Graham's time. As now Key comes through the final corner on the run to the line, the very thin line to the line, and he goes fifth actually, just 2/10 off his teammate. Not a bad lap there whatsoever. Secret Dundee as well improved on his lap at 23.4 first sector from Secret Dundee. I have a feeling he's been cutting the track a little as he now comes in towards Ascari. He's invalidated on that lap, but on the side of mediums, a 20 flat around a track where you can gain up to about 1.5 seconds in terms of mediums to soft compound tyres. That's a good lap from Secret Dundee. Watch out for the Hungarian later on in this session. Storm came in there as well with 20.4, goes in behind Tunsuri, and Atlas Colpo is 5/10 down coming through the first sector as well. Scuba Steve though was on the lap. He's just started up in towards turn number 1 through the Retofilial chicane. Oh, as he spins coming through the Retofilial chicane. These curbs really are catching people out, catching drivers out. They're not as flat as what they were on the F1 2020 game. And Scuba Steve now spins the car around, and he gets luckily recovered. No damage to the car, just went for a slight spin. And Scuba Steve now will not be on this lap. However, Imad, the championship leader, running down in towards turn number 1, through turn 2. And now on the exit of the Retofilial chicane, he'll run now down in towards Curva Grande. As, apparently, we have seen it as wet in the race. Why is it Italy and me and wet racers? They never mix. 26.2 though through the first sector for Imad. Make of that what you will from Kermit the Frog there in the comment section. Yeah, he'll have me for that one later on, trust me. Imad though coming towards Lesville 1 and now in toward Lesville 2. This is not looking like a bad lap at all from the Scotsman so far. Halfway through qualifying pretty much. Graham Chappell out on top. Graham in first, Maximus in second, Yana in third at this moment in time. But where's Imad going to go with this lap time? 52.7 through the middle sector. That's more like it. That's the sort of times we want to be seen from the top end guys here in Division 4, where an F4 as now comes through in towards Parabolica on the run up towards Parabolica in excess of 200 mile an hour. Of course, 75% of this lap can be taken at flat out speed, so it'll be pedal to the throttle quite literally outside track as Imad now runs through the final corner. This is a much better lap from Imad. Runs to the line and he goes top with a 1:19.535. Not a bad lap at all. About a second off the pace actually compared to what we had in TTML F1 last night. Of course, that being the line only tier. But yeah, Imad's out on top. Graham in second with Maximus in third. Yana, however, 2.5 tenths up coming through the end of the first sector. Had Secret Dundee just off to the right hand side there. Now coming through Lesmo 1 and then towards the exit of Lesmo 2. Catches the curve very nicely coming through there. And the Finn, very impressive in last time out in qualifying. I think he got second or third, if I'm not mistaken, in Bahrain. And he's already quicker in the middle sector than Imad. 52.6 through the middle sector. Oh, as he nearly spins the car. How's he kept that bullet? I do not know. Keep the throttle in, my son. And Yana now runs down in toward Parabolica. However, I think he's going to probably come into the pit lane after that awful mistake, an awful ride on the curve, and Yana has backed off this lap. But I've got to be honest and say, what a recovery that was. He could have easily ended up in the wall, probably 2-3 occasions in that, and Yana still stays fourth for 19.7. I feel he probably would have still improved actually if he continued on his lap. Looking on board though with other guys, Tunturi looks like he's going quite quick. The other Finn in the Red Bull, 1:20.3, currently his best. As Bunty puts himself into fourth. Good lap there from Bunty, 1:19.690. With 7 minutes to go in the session. Imad out on top, Graham in second, Maximus in third. We haven't seen Maximus come out for a second run just yet. Tunturi though runs the line, and he pops himself towards the top end of the field, goes fourth with 1:19.651. 0.05 of a second off the back of Maximus. Cowboy also on a lap, 52.7 coming out of the middle sector, so he's there or thereabouts. Neymar, by the way, saying in the comment section that his lap got ruined. It was an 18.7 last night, but a lot of drivers got their last lap ruined or maybe invalidated in terms of the lap times. Cowboy now running towards the line, should go towards the top end, goes 8th with a 1:19.897. Pick on board with AJ now coming through Lesmo 1. In the Mercedes, 6.5 minutes to go in this session. Imad's out on top. Graham in second, Maximus in third, Tunturi fourth, Bunty rounding off the top 5. However, AJ really got to put in a good lap here. He's got to try and make a statement, maybe to RMD, to the likes of Graham as well, towards the top end of the field. And that is a statement and a half coming through the middle sector. 52.6, beautiful coming out of Ascari. That is how you take Ascari on the X of the curve coming through turn 10. Beautiful stuff from AJ, and this could be the quickest lap of the night that we're going to see so far. To Armadillo out on top, it's Graham in second, it's Maximus in third. AJ now coming through in towards Parabolica, soon to be named of course Curva Alboreto for the 2021 Italian Grand Prix, as AJ now comes through the final corner, runs the line, and he goes quickest with a 119.44, 10th improvement. Found a lot in that final sector purely because of the run coming through Ascari. Very nice indeed. AJ goes top. Scuba Steve just getting a little bit of slipstream there from the Ferrari. 26.4 through the first sector, not the quickest we've seen so far in the first sector. The American will be hoping for a very good result. AJ to Mitchell, by the way, is covered by about 2 seconds, but AJ to Storm is covered by less than a second, and that is 13 drivers. So, quite minute improvements could be found out on track, and that means trouble possibly for the likes of Graham, for the likes of Tunturi as well, who want to try and improve their laps. As actually, as soon as I say that, Graham improves to a 19.1. Fantastic lap by the Irishman, and he goes to the top end of the field with around 4.5 minutes to go, just under 5 minutes to go in the session. Graham out on top now, AJ in second, I'm a D in third. And as you can tell, my voice is going and it's a bit far. Scuba Steve though, on the back of Armored D, running through the final corner. Armored D just starting up on a lap, and Scuba now runs to the line and goes 13th. So he goes within that second mix really between AJ and Atlas Copel now, who's gone 15th as well. He improved on his lap time. Graham though out on top. We'll have to pick on board though with Armored D. Coming through now turn number 2. And then on the run down and towards Cova Grande, of course, through turn number 3. Oh. And so I have to take a drink there. Graham though, still out on top. 2/10 improvement though from Armored D. Means business coming through the end of the first sector. Rides the curbs very flat indeed. Very nice coming through the Della Roger chicane. And now in towards turn 6 of Lesmo 1. And now coming through Lesmo 2. Nearly said what it could be confused with out on track. We don't want to say that on League Racing TV, otherwise we'll get demonetised. Aberdeen running down in towards the Ascari chicane. And this is more like it, 52.4. Trying to put it up with Graham in terms of his lap time. Just gets a call on the curve coming out of turn 9, but again, very good coming out of turn 10. And on the long run down and towards Parabolica, 200 mile an hour already reached. Going into the braking zone, you can brake as late as you dare. Going in towards Parabolica, right on the DRS detection line. Now comes out of the final corner. Of course, the sausage curve removed, of course, of Alex Peroni's accident. But Armadillo now running to the line. Is he going to go quickest? No. About 400ths of a second off on the back of Graham. But not a bad lap there at all. Tunturi has backed off his lap. Must have made a mistake, surely, on his lap. 119.471, his current best. Yana coming through the final corner. Not sure if he's going to go on for a lap here. I think he is. Key just coming across the line there as well. Didn't improve. Remeda is on a lap. Mitchell's 2/10 up, but he's invalidated. So, furthest on a lap is... well, Key, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Coming to start up on a lap as well. So yeah, Yana and Key, probably the two furthest on their next lap time. So we'll see what Key is going to do coming through the end of the first sector. 26.2 as Maximus has retired out on track. So Maximus retires coming out on track. And oh, as Key loses the car into the wall. Yana just in behind as well. Very lucky to get away with no puncture running over that front wing, of course. But Key now maybe out of the session. I don't think he's got time to come into the pit lane, repair that front wing, and then get out front of that. So I think that might be Key's session run out on track. But Graham leading the way. Armadillo second, AJ in third. 52.5 from Yana. 4/10 up in this middle sector. Now coming out of Ascari. And again, picture perfect. Doesn't get caught on the outside curve this time. Does Yana. And that was much better. And he's up there with Armadillo and Graham in terms of his lap times coming through that middle sector. So let's see what the thing can do. As in that comes through Parabolica for what could be the final time on his lap. As Yana now runs the line. He could even go quickest with this. Comes to the line. And he doesn't, and he's just shy. 1300ths of a second separating Graham and Yana. Yana out on top. Oh, and he has to get out of the way of a Red Bull. I think that might have been Tunturi, if I'm not mistaken, coming out of the pit lane. Very, very fortunate indeed. I don't think he realised he was even coming out the pits. Jeffrey has managed to rejoin, has joined the session, I should say. But it is Graham out on top. It's Yana in second, and I'm a D in third position. Jeffrey, don't worry, you don't hate yourself whatsoever. I'm sure if you come good in the race, you never know what can happen around Team Italy, especially if it is going to be changeable conditions. Kermit, by the way, went up into fifth position as well. Trying to see on board. Secret Dundee is down, 4/10ths down in the middle sector. Raymida, however, 800ths up, coming out of the middle sector. 45 seconds to go. Ferrari, very, very awkward. Looks like he's got a very low downforce setup. It could be good through the corners. However, it looks a little bit pitchy as he comes out of the corner. You'll see what I mean. Coming through Parabolica Bricks as late as he dares. Coming through the final corner. Just doesn't look comfortable in terms of the setup, I think. But Raymida now running to the line. He'll improve massively in this final sector. 900ths improvement. He does go up into 10th position. So good luck there. Puts him on the bubble for whether he's going to start on a set of softs or maybe a set of medium compounded tyres if it is going to be dry running towards the end of the session. Graham, however, is just invalidated as we ride on board with him coming out of Lesville 2, and unfortunately he's not going to improve. Yana, however, will get another lap in, but I think he's run out of fuel, so Yana's not going to improve. Imadi is not going to lap in either. And that is unbelievable. Imadi is not going to lap in. 54.7 through the middle sector. He will not get a lap in. It's only AJ, really, that could trouble, as well as Tunturi. Tunturi coming through the end of the first sector. He's 800ths up. Bunty as well on a lap. He's now coming through into the first couple of corners out of the first sector, I should say. And he invalidates, actually, so that's typical. Bunty invalidates coming through there. Tunturi's just invalidated as well. And we'll see on board with AJ. He's invalidated as well. Everyone is invalidating. Callboy, a 10th down, coming out of the final corner. What can the Aston Martin do? Can he put it towards the top end of the field? I don't think he will. However, he does improve his time by a 10th of a second. That still remains in 9th position. Raymida is not on a lap. Scuba Steve goes up to 10th, puts him now into the bubble of that top 10. Atlas Copo is not improving at the minute on his time as well. So I think that might be qualifying done. If Atlas Copo doesn't improve and he's not, he backs off in this session. That is the end of qualifying then, and it is Graham Chappell out on top. My co-commentator in EML Premier this season has taken it by 1300ths of a second. Yana, always consistent in qualifying, was very good in Bahrain. Once again good in Italy, goes second. And Imadi, the championship leader, is in third position. The Scotsman will be hoping for a very good result, of course, out on track. And Nemo, by the way, saying in the comment section, if they get cold tyres, corner number 1, which is the Retafilio chicane, is going to be a slideshow. Quite literally, especially if it's going to be wet conditions, of course. Remember, the Inters can dispose of 25 litres of water on track. Wet compounded tyres, 75 to 80 litres that they can dispose of out on track as well. So it is going to be interesting in that regard, whether we're going to see full intermediate conditions, pretty much like we saw last night in TTML F1, or if we're going to have full wet conditions, full wet tyres, as we go through the session. However, Graham Chappell out on top from Yana in second. Imadi there in third. 400ths of a second. I kid you not, 400ths of a second covering the top 3. With AJ there in fourth. Kermit in fifth with Tunturi in sixth. Again, very close to 2300ths of a second separating those guys out on track. Maximus came in good there with a 19.6, goes 7, with Bunty in 8th, Cowboy in 9th, and Scuba Steve running off the top 10. So if it stays dry, they've all started on that soft compound tyre. Remeda in 11th, with Key in 12th, Secret Dundee in 13th, Storm in 14th, Atlas Copo in 15th, Cannibal there in 16th, Mitchell in 17th, and Jeffrey, of course, joining the session late, didn't get a lap in. Hopefully not going to cause any problems with the lobby. But I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What do you predict is going to happen in this race? Who are you predicting for your top 3? We'll have a look at the conditions very soon as we load back into the lobby. Looks like we're going to load in very soon indeed. 18 drivers about to do battle, of course, with the addition of Jeffrey late on in this session. And let me have a look then at what the conditions are like. And it's dry. But it is raining. It is raining out on track, but it's dry compounded tyres, so it is completely different to what we saw last night, as Jeffrey has left the session. It is completely different last night to what we saw in TTML F4. Remember, if you watched F1 last night, intermediate compound of tyres were the way to go. However, because it is dry compound of tyres, the top 10 start on that set of soft compound of tyres. So they will get to start on that worn set that they had in qualifying. If they don't, and they're further down the field, below 10th position, they get to choose whatever tyre they feel free to go on. Probably the set of hards, I would say, would be the tyre to go on if it's going to dry up maybe later on in the race. But rain is certainly due. The rain is falling out on track. It could change conditions very quickly indeed. But looking at everyone is on a dry set of tyres. And in fact, everyone... absolute boring buggers we have got here in League Racing TV and TTML F4. I thought somebody would have went for the hard compound tyres, because it just makes sense that the hards would probably be the better tyre around a very damp track. I'm not sure if I'm mad in thinking that, but everyone's on a set of soft compound tyres, so it imagines to me as if the rain is going to stop. Or the rain is either going to stop within the first 10 minutes of this race. You can see Graham really warming up the tyres aggressively. Or, the set of soft compound tyres, they're going to come in for a set of inters early on in this race. That is going to be the two scenarios, I think. Whether these guys come in on that set of soft compound tyre. I mean, we're one on board with Graham, and it hardly looks like, well, I say that, it hardly looks like there was any spray coming off. However, he's just spun it from the lead of the race. Luckily no damage on the car. That was like Perez-esque in Belgium, that was. And there's another spinner. Yana is now round, coming through Lesma 1. Goodness me, if this is a sign of things to come, you are going to be in for an absolute treat off the start. My voice is going to be gone at the end of lap 1, but plenty of spins happening out on track. Very shocked to see everyone just warming up their tyres aggressively. You can see Graham, just moving across there was AJ, I think, moving up his tyres. But Neymar saying rain should come early when I look from here. So the rain should come early, and that means, so if it's raining out on track, you would imagine inters by lap 6, lap 7. I'm thinking it's going to be that sort of quickness, I think, from the transition from softs to inters. And remember, if this track stays as it is, by the way, it could remain literally the same throughout the race. So we could be on dry running, but it's wet as well out on track. So we could have that scenario, which I have seen before in TTML, in other leagues as well. But what is going to happen? Let me know, of course, your top 3 prediction in terms of the race. I'm going to tell you mine now. And I think, just purely on the conditions, I think Armadi is going to win. He's going to retain that championship lead going into Spain next week. AJ is going to be second. I think the class will rise above the rest. And in third, I'm going to go for Maximus. If it turns inters early on in the session, well, I mean, look at that predicted pit stop strategy. It doesn't look like it's going to turn intermediate conditions. But if it does, Maximus, very good in the intermediate conditions, starting from 7th on the grid. If he can get a good start, if he minimises the wheel spin like everyone else will do out on track, they will start very well indeed out there. But Mitchell and Jeffrey are the final 2 to join us then into their grid positions. And we're just moments away from the beginning of TTML F4 here in Italy. But everyone now in grid position, and the 5 red lights are going to go up very soon indeed. And now they will come on straight on in the gantry. It's going to be a very quick start. 5 red lights are on here in Italy. And it's lights out and away we go. Great start by AJ. Gets a minimal traction off the run. And Graham gets a good start as well. But he's going to be outgunned by Yana, possibly down in towards turn 1. And actually, it's 3 wide coming down in towards turn 1. As AJ runs down into the lead of the race. AJ is through into the lead of the race. What a start from the Mercedes. He is through and he's into the lead. Armadi tries to go all the way around the outside on Yana as well. My voice, by the way, cracked nearly coming through turn 1. Hopefully nobody heard that. AJ will leading the way. Yana in second. Armadi in third. With Bunty in 4th, Graham down to 5th early on, Tunturi in 6th, Kia spun on the exit of the Retifield chicane, coming through turn number 2, as Armadi just gets, well, dived down the inside line by Bunty. Bunty's up to 3rd, Armadi, and there was an illegal overtake and all of that. Armadi is through, he's into 3rd once again, Bunty is 4th, there's a car gone off on track, Kerman is now off, coming through the gravel. luckily rejoins safe enough. He's going to be maybe side by side with Cannibal. We can see how these conditions actually are. Kermit has spun again into the wall, and that is him out of the session, and that might be the first safety car of tonight. So Kermit is round, and it's a VSC. VSC out on track, of course. It can be upgraded to a safety car if the stewards feel necessary, if the marshals feel necessary as well. But Kermit, unfortunately, out of the race, ran into the gravel, making a mistake in through Lesmo 1. On the exit of Lesmo 2, didn't get the traction off and spun, and he leaves the session in absolute disgrace, I think. Very, very bad, I think, from Kermit's perspective, but hopefully he will be back stronger next week. However, looks like we're about to get restarted on the go, and AJ is going. AJ wants to get on with this. Looks like the car has been recovered. And at the end of lap 2, at the end of lap 1, I should say, not on lap, we're on to lap 2 now. AJ leads the way, Yana in second. There's a bit of scrimmaging going on further down the field. Oh, that's a bit of a glitch going on the graphics. Absolutely typical. Mitchell, by the way, is into pit lane in 14th position. There's Maximus and Scuba Steve as well. AJ, though, out on top. Yana in second, 6/10 of a second as they come through. And already Mitchell goes on to a set of intermediate compounded tyres. Might not be a bad check, that, to be honest. He's right down to the back of the field. He may as well try and test the waters of where they're at. Bunty, by the way, all over the back of Armour D. And Yana all over the back of AJ as well. And it looks to me as if my prediction, apart from Maximus being well down the field at the minute, he's in around the mid-pack at this stage. Looks to me, AJ's low out on top, as we've got a yellow flag coming through the middle sector. I think that might have been a slight spin for Atlas Copel, possibly. Jeffrey has spun as well, and Ray Meter is round. Ray Meter is round, and very difficult to follow when you've got the interval timings obviously glitching on your screen. But AJ leads the way, Yana in second, Armady in third, Bunty in fourth, and Bunty is pretty much shoving Armady through the corners at this stage, coming out the exit of the Scari, and he's a 10th and a half behind the championship leader coming in towards Parabolica. There's AJ leading the way. You can see how much they're struggling on this compounded tyre. Mitchell, not really appropriate to say whether he's gaining time on the back of Ray Meter. And actually, Bunty needed an Atlas Copel last night. I saw from Atlas Copel's POV perspective, it wasn't Atlas Copel actually, he's racing tonight. It was one of the guys last night who nearly lost it into the wall. And Storm now on the back of Callboy, running down in towards turn number 1. Irishman outguns the Brit down in towards turn 1, and Callboy stays in 7th. Storm though, trying to get the switch back on the exit of the Westphalia chicane. Rain is falling. Ray Meter though into the pit lane. Mitchell looks like he was gaining there slightly. It might have been because Ray was making a little mistakes out on track. Storm is not right on the back of Callboy, by the way, according to the interval timings on the left hand side of the screen. They will fix, of course, next lap around. But AJ's definitely got more of a 5/10 lead over Yana at this stage. Probably round about the 8 or 9/10 mark, maybe even a second at that. DRS now enabled, of course, and Yana will use up that DRS because he was within that second margin. Amity there in third as well. Bunty in fourth. Callboy right on the back of Tunsuri, running down in towards turn 7. He's miles behind on my screen. The sun is beginning to break through, actually out on track. Bunty though on the back of Amity, within 2/3 of a second there, coming on the exit of Ascari. And the Brit will be hoping for a very good result, of course, out on track. And Neymar, I should say, in the comment section, is already wet. Could it end up the same as Singapore F4? Yeah, maybe. I like that. I like that thinking, actually. Yeah, that could be the case. But the rain looks like it's coming down a little bit heavier. Maybe seeing more drivers in tenses. I know Ray Meter certainly went in for intermediates last time around. Storm, by the way, on the back of Callboy once again. Nobody close enough down in towards turn 1 for the lead. There is a yellow flag in sector 3, and Key has spun once again, coming through the exit of Ascari. Not sure if he's recovered the car well, and he hasn't got any damage, so I think he just ran purely wide there. Cannibal has been overtaken by Sigvard Dundee down in towards turn 1. Sigvard Dundee, the Hungarian, through on Cannibal. And Sigvard Dundee through, and he's into 10th position. If that's anything to go by, intermediates might be the tyre to go on. Fast lap the race set by Mitchell on that set of inters, but it looks to me as if we're at the crossover period between the set of inters and between the set of softs. Either tyre is probably quicker at this stage, to be honest. And you can see with Mitchell, he gains 2/10 of a second out of the retrofit chicane, so I think maybe it is actually inters out on track. He certainly comes in for that set of inters. Bunty, by the way, on the back of Armady, running down in towards Ascari once again for lap 4 out of 27. And Bunty is not even going to try this. Coming on the exit of a score, you were never going to get that one done. There is a spin array meter has spun coming out of the pit lane, I believe. Oh, he certainly spun coming through turns 1 and 2 through the Westfield chicane, recovers the car. He has responded as well. Mitchell is catching out the Sculptor, by the way, further down the field. Watch out for that gap. Watch out for that interval timing further down the field. However, we'll still focus on AJ's in. AJ's into the pit lane from the lead of the race. He feels it is wet enough, maybe to come in for a set of inters. And this is lap 4 out of 27, and he's in. So set of intermediate conditions is in, and Mitchell is making moves. I think he realises he might have me on in the background, and me talking about Mitchell. Storm, by the way, is into the pit, and looks like there's a front wing change possibly coming as well for Storm. Might have been embroiled in a first lap collision with somebody. And there's actually no front wing change, so I'm just seeing things. Jeffrey's on the back of Scuba Steve running down in towards turn number 1. And looks like Jeffrey's actually ghosted. Has Jeffrey left the session? Oh yeah, Jeffrey's AI has left the session, in fact. So he's running in AI mode at this stage, and that is why he tried to get the move done on Scuba Steve, but didn't. I'm a D on the back of Iana. This is for the lead of the race. And rain is not getting heavier, nor it's getting lighter out on track. And Amity feels the need to try and get a move on, because look at Bunty. Bunty looks so quick, I think, on this set of soft compound tyre in these wet and changeable conditions. And look at the exit that he gets compared to Imadi. He's just got a wall of an AlphaTauri in front of him, and Bunty cannot find a way through in that house. And it's still top 3 separated by 0.5 of a second as we come now down in toward Parabolica. As Imadi gets a better run out than Iana. Is anybody going to respond out of the top 3? As Imadi has spun into the pit lane, resets him to track. That is so unfortunate. And that happened last night. I believe it was the Atlas Copo. And that was unbelievable. He's been reset to track. That is so unfortunate, I think, that he's been reset to track. It was inevitable, though, I'm afraid. Spins on the outside curb, coming out the final corner. And if that's now anything to go by, then goodness me, he might just need a new pair of underwear, I think, after that one. Bunty on the back of Yana, though, for P1 and 2. Bunty now up to second. Oh, and he has to dive it down the inside line. Does he get the car stopped? And he doesn't, and he lets Yana through, and that is good sportsmanship there from Bunty. However, look at Mr. Chappell in behind. Now, 2.2 seconds off the back. Yana will feel very hard done by, I think, by that. Bunty could not go anywhere else, bar down the inside line. And that, I think, will go down as a racing incident. Let him back through as well. But Yana leads the way. Bunty in second. And look at the pace of Bunty. Right on the back of Yana. Looks to the inside line towards Ascari. Very late on the brakes. What a move that is, dead and towards Ascari. Take some balls of steel with you in that move. And Bunty is he's into the lead of the race. And it's clear to me who is the quickest man out on track at this moment in time. Mitchell, by the way, has gained time on Jeffrey. The inters are not really making an impact, to be honest. Scuba Steve, by the way, came into the pit lane on a set of mediums, which we've missed. But Bunty out of the final corner, leading the way. Yana is in. Yana is into the pit lane, maybe for a front wing change, maybe got damage as a result. But look, there's no DRS disabled yet at this time. No DRS disabled, and there is a front wing change coming for Yana. So he's had his left side end plate taken off in that incident. And he goes on to a set of intermediate compound tyre. It really is threading a thin line between whether it's dry out on track or whether it's wet. And if that's anything to go by, Kia's just spun coming through Lesbel 1. Of course, he's struggling out on track. But in terms of the lap times, Jeffrey is losing time, obviously. Yana, by the way, is out of the pit lane. And he's going to be side by side with Callboy. Callboy might get past him down and towards turn number 1. And the Irishman slides his way on the outside line, gets the move done, the Aston Martin through, and he's into that top 10 position. But currently, maybe in a net P3 actually, with all the guys maybe still to pit on that set of soft compound tyre. However, Yana wants this. Yana wants to try and fight back at Callboy to try and get this move done, but not going to hold the move just yet. Not going to go for the move just yet, as he's now on the back of Callboy still. AJ is catching Cannibal quite quickly. I still feel, though, it might be softs out on track. I have a feeling it's honestly going to be one of these races where, if you stay out on the dries long enough, you're going to get to the end of the race and it'll dry up towards the end of the race. That's what I think is going to happen, maybe, in this race. AJ's behind Cannibal, Cannibal's gaining time on Maximus. And AJ's obviously gaining time. Jeffrey's AI, we can't really say, it's Mitchell has spun. Coming out through a Scary that could deploy a safety car. And it has. Safety car deployed, and the front 6 are already coming through. The front 5 have already gone through. Cannibal then into the pit lane. Does anybody decide to come into the pit lane? AJ going very slow indeed, having to stick to his delta time. But that's unfortunate for Mitchell. Jeffrey now into the pit lane. So we see 2 soft runners in, onto possibly a set of intermediates. As we see, Cannibal, yeah, onto a set of inters he goes. And Jeffrey, he's going to go onto a set of soft compounder tyres. So that is interesting from Jeffrey. Obviously, there was a split decision, I think, what to do in terms of the racing out on track tonight and in terms of the strategy, because it's just all over the place in terms of the strategy. But Jeffrey, how is it possible I am driving? I wish I was driving. Yeah, you're in AI mode, my friend, and you're still in P11 onto a set of soft compounder tyres. So the AI thinks it's dry. The AI thinks it's dry. The rain is not wetting the track enough for it to be intermediate conditions, I don't think. It's one of these races, it's really, really strange. It's one of these races where I think if you've got balls of steel and you want to commit to a strategy, you're gonna have to. We're nearly a third of the way through, by the way. We're on to lap 9 after this one. And Bunty leading the way from Graham in second, RBD in third, Tonturi in fourth, Maximus in fifth, AJ in second, Callboy in seventh, Yana in eighth, Storm in ninth, and Cannibal rounding off the top 10. Jeffrey's AI is into the pit lane for a set of soft compounder tyres. However, this will be the indication. Is everyone going to come in for what I would expect as a set of intermediate condition tyre? And Bunty is in, Graham is in, Imadi is in, Tonturi's coming in, and Maximus is coming in as well. So, if that's anything to go by, we're going to see a split strategy, because I can see in Imadi's pit box, mediums, Graham onto a set of mediums, Bunty back onto a set of softs, Tonturi is going onto a set of mediums, and AJ now leads the way on a set of inters. Unbelievable. And Maximus has gone onto a set of mediums as well. This is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely unbelievable. Everyone has came out in the top 5 on a dry compounder tyre. And I think it's these 5 guys that are going to play out the victory of this race. I honestly think that now. I could be wrong. You never know. I could be absolutely wrong, and it could absolutely team down and rain in about 5 to 10 minutes' time. The track gets wet enough for it to be inters, and the DRS is disabled. But we're 9 laps in. 9 laps out of 27 in. And at the moment, people out on track. Storm, by the way, came in for a set of mediums as well, so that might be something to go by as well. But the rain is not heavy enough to impact on the track. And you can see, we're right on board with AJ, there's hardly any spray coming off this tyre. I mean, I was going to say that, and then Graham spun coming through, obviously, on the formation lap. But AJ out on track, at this moment in time, he's on a set of inters. Is he going to pull away? Or is Bunty going to be absolutely flying on that set of softs under the restart? It is DRS enabled, not disabled out on track. And this is one of the races where I don't know what's going on. These drivers certainly don't know what's going on. And if I don't know, they don't know, you guys don't know at all. It's as simple as that. That's the only way I can explain it. AJ goes out on top. We are a third of the way through. It's Bunty in second, Graham in third, Amadi in fourth, and Callboy in fifth position. And this is crazy for sure. What am I doing, he says. Jeffrey, your AI's in 10th position. I wish you could rejoin the session. I hope you can rejoin the session. And it'll be remarkable, because he's just had a soft compounder tyres and he's in 10th position. Could still make an impact, maybe, the AI on this tyre. But Matthias as well has said, Neymar in the comment section, of course, has also said, on the set of softs, what's the plan? I think two-stop. Two-stop. I think Jeff's obviously telling these guys, oh, his key is sped under the safety car and picks up a drive-through penalty. Might have had a little bit of a spin coming out of Les Mills too. But I don't know what is going to happen. I really do not know what is going to happen in this race. From my perspective, as Key has picked up another drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, I think he might have a bit of a glitch possibly out on track. AJ leads the way. It's going to be so determined on this restart. If AJ gets a phenomenal run, running down in towards turn 1, and he's a second clear already, as Key gets another drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car, he's clearly got a glitch out on track. And unfortunately for him, I think he's going to get disqualified as well, without really doing anything. AJ, though, on that set of intermediate condition tyre, set us off for Bunty. If Bunty can get a really good restart, I don't think the safety car will be coming in this lap. It'll be next lap, I think. But if AJ can get a good start, and he's a second clear running down in towards turns 1 and 2 at the Westfield chicane, he might just have a chance of winning this. If Bunty, however, is quick enough, and we know for a fact he's going to be quick on these set of soft compound tyres, then Bunty and the guys in a set of dries at this moment in time will be the ones that will play out the win of this race. That's how I see it. I'm not sure if you agree with me, I'm not sure if you disagree with me, and if you do disagree with me, that just comes to show the nature of the race, I'm afraid. Key, by the way, did pick up a speeding under the safety car drive-through penalty, and he's got 3 drive-throughs to serve, which is so unfair, I think, out on track. And Nemo makes a good point as well. These slicks are cold. Look at people's aggressive weaving. Look at AJ. He's not really doing any singular motions out on track to put him into perspective, and he's not really warming up his tyres because his tyres are probably already warm. He's on 5-lap-old inters. Bunty, not really coming down. Storm, by the way, is back into the pit lane. So Storm is into the pit lane, and I wonder what this is for. As Yana has lost his position to Callboy, he might have to give that position back, and Storm's coming back in on a set of inters. Storm is coming back in on a set of inters. Is this rain going to get heavier? This is just mad. This is honestly just mad. I think, honestly, the Callboy's picked up a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. That's quite unfair, I think. Yana down in 6th position now. But AJ has got to be hoping that those tyres are good enough for him to win this race. The rain has certainly intensified, but I would say it's at the same rate as before. I think the rain has got a little bit heavier. You can see it through the camera angle. But it's not enough to impact on the track just yet. It's not enough. You can see wet patches on the track, but you can see how dry and how greasy this track actually is. And that's the biggest indicator. Look at the track profile and see if it's going to be good for dries, if it's going to be good for inters. I think we're going to get the safety car in this lap. Key's obviously well off the pace to serve up a drive-through penalty. Storm's the only one to catch back up, and yeah, the safety car is coming in this lap. And this, probably one of the most fascinating races you will ever see in TTML history. What is going to happen, I do not know. We're not even halfway through yet, and we've got a possibility of inters versus dry tyres, wet versus dry, for a safety car restart, which I think I've never seen. Or as we see positions changing up and down the field, quite a few drivers going slow enough. Secret Dundee is having to let through. I think it's caused by Jeffrey's AI, if I'm not mistaken. We could see some 5-second penalties coming their way as well. But this is the most bizarre race I think I've ever commentated on. As Sway has literally just said it's the most bizarre weather he's ever seen. AJ, though, out of the final corner, still not going. Graham is pretty much alongside on the back of Bunty. AJ has got to go at the de-restoration point, he goes. And now Cannibal's picked up a penalty, Scuba's picked up a penalty, and AJ gets that run down in towards turn number 1. But look at the start of Ivan D. He's running side by side with Graham. Secret Dundee is retired coming through the final corner through Parabolic. I don't think we'll get a safety car deployment for that. But Ivan D overtakes Graham down in towards turn 1. You can see how sketchy it is on this compounded tyre. But look at Bunty on the back. He's keeping with AJ. He is keeping with AJ. We're at the crossover point. It's as simple as that. Callboy loses out to Graham as well as the yellow flag in sectors 1 and 3. Secret Dundee is retired and Cannibal is spun. Cannibal is spun coming through sector 1. But Bunty right on the back of AJ. This is for the race lead. And look at him. He is crawling all over the back. It looks to me as if it's dries. It looks to me as if it's dries. The rain is not impacting on this track whatsoever. Coming through second, Lesmo. And look at the run that Bunty's going to get. Oh, as he's nearly into the wall on the exit. Now use of that ERS to good effect to try and get back at AJ. However, side by side between Callboy and Graham, the two Aston Martins, the two Irishmen now going side by side. And Callboy says, thank you very much. I'll top the morning to you, maybe. And he's through into P5. That's a terrible one. Bunty, though, on the back. Look at the run he's got. Compared to AJ coming out of Ascari. And now into Parabolica. This could be a job done move. Bunty is absolutely excelling in these conditions. To the inside line. Oh, and there's contact. And Bunty tried to go for the move. It wasn't really going to be there. He spins round. Imadi and Yana go side by side as well. And Imadi is through. And he's into second position. Bunty has just cost himself the race win, I think, there. Imadi now has got to drag Yana in. Oh, and we've got a safety car. A safety car is out on track. Bunty is stranded there, and I really don't know why the safety car's out. Scuba Steve, though, leads the way. Scuba Steve, by the way, is into the pit lane. Are these guys coming on for a fresh set of inters? This is mad. This is absolutely mad. Jeffrey's AI is coming in spinning. He's going to go into a set of mediums. This is absolutely insane. Everyone, by the way, who came into the pit lane is on a set of inters. I cannot describe what I'm seeing. Cannibal's going into a set of hards, which is even crazier. I'm speechless. I'm honestly speechless. Cannibal's into the pit lane for a set of hard compounded tyres. Got that from wing change as well. He's out of the pit lane right at the back of the field. It's probably because Cannibal had that mistake, and that's why the safety car was deployed. I've just clicked on with that. Edger, though, leads the way. Amadi in second. Yana in third. Cowboys in fourth. Graham in fifth. Half the field now are on a set of dries. 7 out of the 15 drivers that we've got in are on a set of dries. Everyone else is on a set of inters. And if you can't tell me this is the maddest race you've ever watched, then I don't know what is. I really do not know what is. We're on lap 13, and we haven't even touched the surface of this race yet. It's very, very strange indeed. No, Jeffrey is in AI mode. Jeffrey is in AI mode, Neymar. There he is. He's ghosted, as you can see on your screen. And he has ghosted, and that is why I think quite a few drivers picked up a 5-second penalty. AJ, by the way, is into the pit lane from the lead of the race. What is he coming in for? That's a set of inters. That is a set of inters, and Cowboy also into the pit lane. In behind, and he's going onto a set of softs. He's going onto a set of soft compounded tyre. This is absolutely insane. I think my commentary of this race actually sums up what is going on in this race, because I don't know what's... I'm speechless. I do not know what's going on in this race, apart from the fact that we've now got half the field on a set of dries and half the field on a set of inters. Answers on a postcard, please. Lap 14 out of 27. Amadi leads the way. Yana in second. Graham in third. I'm just going to throw it out there now. Anyone can now win this race. If it's going to rain heavier, it's got to come now, I think, to impact on the track. If not, it's going to dry before the end of this race, and everyone's going to be on a set of dries. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. Why is half the grid on inters and half on dries? I do not know, Matt Timos. I do not know, and if you could give me a reasonable answer for that, I'll pay you, honestly, so much to come and join me in the commentary box, because I'm about as confused as you are at this stage. We are under the safety car, however, and I'll tell you the reason why everyone is on a set of mediums and on a set of inters as well. Look at that track profile. It's not enough. You can see, as we run on board with Graham, there's no spray being kicked off the tyres. It is purely crossover point between mediums and between dries and inters. That's the only way I can describe it. Rain looks like, however, it might be getting a little bit easier out on track, but who knows what's going to happen. Amadi in through the final corner at Parabolica, or through Curve Barretto, as it's going to be known this season in Italy. Amadi, though, out on top. Yana in second. Graham in third. Lap 15 out of 27 about to begin. And God knows what's going to happen in the next 12, 13 laps or so. I hope you've got a few snacks. I hope you're watching this race from a very, very comfortable chair, or from the comfort of your own bed, or something like that. Honestly, I cannot describe what is going on in this race. I really can't. It's just unbelievable. Cannibal's had a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and that's the second time he's done that as well. So he is going to have to think. Sway, by the way, is coming in and saying, interesting point this as well. So hard to even try and suggest a strategy to Joe and Graham. Yeah, so Sway is obviously engineering these guys, and he can only go off, I'm presuming, from what is being seen on the stream. And Jeffrey's AI, obviously, will make an impact on this race. He's down there in 10th position. His AI has consistently came in for dry compounded tyres. We saw with the tyre graphic at the front of at the start of this race on the formation app, just before we kept lights underway, the tyre graphic showed dries to dries. Basically, softs to mediums, I think it was, 2-stop strategy. And everyone is trying to follow off that as close as they can. We're going to wait on Cannibal to rejoin on the back of the safety car, otherwise we would have been underway this lap. So we're still out for another lap under the safety car. But I do not know what's going to happen. Mitchell is hoping Atlas Cooper will win. Frankly, anybody could win. Bunty could win from 14th, and I'm not even going to lie, you've seen his pace so far in this race. Bunty could win from 14th. And he made his mistake by himself, and I'm sure he's going to comment on that to me probably later on. But anybody can win this race. I'll give you an update on the penalties as well, while we're still under the safety car. 3-second penalties for Maximus and Storm. Cannibal's got 5 seconds. He served that up in his drive-through last time around. Or his pit stop, I should say, last time around. Key has got a drive-through penalty. Looked like it was a glitch. I think he spun, possibly under the safety car. And again, he's just been, or there was a change of position slightly there between Key and Bunty. Looks like it's all okay now. It's sorted itself out. Key, though, looked like he had the safety car glitch where you overtake someone or somebody overtakes you. I think he spun. I think he lost the position. I think it was to Ray Meader. And picked up 3 consistent drive-through penalties in a row. And I can't believe what I've just seen. Yana has spun under the safety car. Yana has spun under the safety car. Didn't pick it up on my camera angle. Very late on there. But Yana has spun. He's on a set of inters. Top 4 now are on a set of mediums. This throws a complete spin on this race, honestly. I'm about as confused as you are. I'm really going to say that now. I'm about as confused as you are. Everybody on this Key can win. Yeah, Key's got a drive-through penalty. He's out of this. Cannibal's got a 5-second penalty to serve. He's probably out of this. Apart from them, guys, Maximus and Storm obviously got 3-second penalties, but they're still in. The safety car's coming in this lap. And we're about to see, as I said, on the last safety car, one of the craziest races you may ever see and witness here in TTML. Look at the track, it's not getting any wetter at all. It's just going to be dry throughout this race, I think, now. Anyways. We're about to get going once again. And Armady is under the safety car. He is currently the virtual Bo Malander. He's going to be consistently setting this pace at a consistent 75 mile an hour by the looks. And I wonder if he's going to wait where AJ did on that DRS detection point. Coming out of the final corner through Parabolica, or if he's going to go on the X of the Parabolica. We'll see. And look at Graham hounding the back of him. The Aston Martin right on the back, and there goes Armady. Armady is gone. Very good restart by everyone in behind, and now we're lights out once again. 17 out of 27. We begin. Oh, as Yana has lost it, and a massive crash in the background. AJ's out of the race as well. Yana was weaving, I think, to try and get the move done on AJ. AJ's into the wall. Absolute carnage up the start. And Yana's now down into P14. Clearly some damage on that car. However, it's now welcome to the wacky races. Armady leads the way. Tuntuvi's going side by side with Graham. A little bit of wing rubbing there as well. And now look at Storm. Storm's right in the mix for a possible podium. Corporal already is up to 5th, by the way, from 8th on the grid. From this safety car restart, Scuba Steve is down the inside on, and Maximus gets the move done. So Inter's out doing the set of mediums there. But it will take a lot of time for the drives to get up the running. Jeffrey, by the way, is dropping down the field. Ray Meader is up into 5th. And look at the start that Bunty's got as well. Bunty's up to 10th already. He's up to 9th now. Tries to go all the way around the outside on Key. And gets the move done. There's a bit of contact, bit of scrimmaging, and more from wing damage in behind. That might deploy a VSC, certainly. Coreboy's now running side by side with Tunsuri. Armady, though, has bombed out. 2.5 seconds nearly out in front. Graham in 2nd, Storm in 3rd, Ray Meader in 4th, Tuntuvi's in 5th, Coreboy in 6th, Scuba Steve in 7th. He's had a really good restart as well. Oh, as Bunty nearly loses it, and now Graham gets overtaken by Storm. Graham now fighting back on the outside of Storm in towards Parabolica, and he retakes the position. Armady leads the way. Graham in 2nd. Storm in 3rd as Ray Meader has spun. Oh, nearly cascades coming across the track. He is now out of the race. This race has turned into a war of attrition. I will not be surprised if that's another safety car. It is another safety car. Storm has just got the move done on Graham and all of that as well. Key and Yana are into the pits as well as Cannibal. And we're now at our 3rd safety car in about as many laps. In for set of inters goes everyone. And Cannibal's coming in for a set of inters as well, by the looks. So let's say, oh no, he's on to a set of soft compounder tyres. In fact, is Cannibal. Neymar's getting Magello vibes. I totally vibe with that as well. I think this is Magello in disguise here tonight in TTML F4. And unlike F1, where we only had, I think, one safety car, or certainly a VSC last night, we've got 3 safety cars. This is bordering Belgium F5 territory at this stage, possibly. If we don't get any more running in this race, everyone's just going to stay in the same positions. Armadillo leading the way. Storm had a great restart in 2nd position. Graham's there in 3rd. Tunturi in 4th. Scooby's in 5th. The most positions I think has been gained is this man here, Bunty, from 14th on the grid. Ray and AJ obviously out of the session. Bunty is up to 8th position. I did warn everyone about his pace. Watch out for him. He's going to stay out inevitably, I would say, on this compound-tized toward the end of the race. Bunty, I have a feeling, is going to win this. I really do have a feeling he's going to win this. I just feel everyone in front of him are going to get caught in a little bit collisions. He's going to be right there. But goodness me, absolute mayhem is the best way I could probably describe this race so far. As Storm thought he was going to come into the pit lane now. Tunturi again tries to come into the pit lane. Coreboy, Coreboy is, I think, lost it under the braking zone coming into the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure we'll get confirmation of that, but it looked like, and he's back in for a set of soft compound tyres and a front wing change. So front wing change for Coreboy. I think that's why he's probably coming in more than anything else. And Coreboy into the pit lane. Looked like his car drifted off to the right hand side. It looked like he lost it under the braking zone going into the pit lane. That's what I could probably dissect from that. He's going to be out behind Key. And Key, by the way, is still going to serve that drive-through penalty. He still hasn't got the chance to. So inevitably the stewards are going to take a look at that, I think. Yana, by the way, back out on a set of inters. And Cannibal on that set of soft compound tyres, as we mentioned. Armadillo leading the way. Storm in 2nd. Graham in 3rd. Hashtag safety car off now. Probably trending on the TTML side of things, certainly. And I have to agree, to be honest, in this race. Just ruins the momentum. It ruins the rhythm. But you could argue, with these 3 safety car deployments, they were deserved. One of them, I think, definitely wasn't deserved. Just a bit of front wing damage. I think it was from Ray Meader who spun. And obviously the safety car had to come out as a result of that. The other 2, however, you have to say, safety cars had to be deployed as a result of the incident. But it just ruins the rhythm. It just ruins the momentum of these races. And as I say, it's getting F5 vibes from Belgium and indeed F4 in Hungary. I think it was last season in F4 in Hungary. Sway trying to give himself more damage, so they changed the wing. I'm sure that was not intended. I think he lost that going into the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. But Coreboy there in 11th position. Yana's there in 12th. Cannibal in 13th. And goodness knows what is going to happen with starting lap 20 now. We've got 8 laps to go. If you think about it, if there's going to be another safety car out on track, we're only going to get maybe 3 laps worth of running. Maybe 3 laps worth of running, if that. So it's going to be really strange. Key, by the way, has overtaken Jeffrey, and I don't think he cares at this point if he's overtaken Jeffrey. Maximus has now spun, however, coming through turn 1. Jumps over the sleeping policeman, will rejoin in 11th position, and Maximus, another one to spin under the safety car. The nature of the conditions is biblical out on track. But look, the rain is almost stopping out on track now. The track, I think, has got a lot drier, I think, compared to what I saw was 2 laps ago. And I think the rain is going to borderline stop, possibly, out on track. And Sway also saying, can we get more than 2 laps? I totally agree. Can we get more than 2 laps? However, I think because Cannibal and Yana are already back on the back of the safety car, we're going to get underway this lap around, because the safety car, of course, has to do the mandatory, I think it's 2 laps. These guys have got to do mandatorily under the safety car. So, Armadillo leads the way. Storm in 2nd, Graham in 3rd. If you want to make a prediction in your top 3 now, please don't. That's what I'm going to say. Safety car is not coming in this lap by the looks. And it might be next lap around, unless on the exit of Ascari it triggers the safety car lights out. And there we go. Yeah, safety car is coming in this lap, and Armadillo really wants to get on with things. I think he's now losing patience, possibly, out there in front. And now he's the virtual Bowman, the virtual safety car out on track. But what will happen in the next 7 laps or so, in the next 15-20 minutes or so, to decide the Italian Grand Prix in Monza for TTML F4. You, along with me, are about to find out as Armadina comes out of the final corner. Storm hassling his gearbox. Armadina leaving as late as possible to get going on the DRS ejection point, and he now goes. And we've already got a split actually. And I think Key is into the pit in the service drive-through penalty. And now it's all hassle we go down towards turn number 1. Tunsuri pulls out of the slipstream on the back of Graham. Scuba Steve looking to the back as well on this. Tunsuri dives it down the inside line. Scuba gets, I think, punter maybe there by Bunty. Well, certainly a bit of a lag, and Maximus has spun. Callboy gets caught on a spin as well. And that's a bit of incident. 3 wide coming out of the west of Freenhill chicane. This is absolute madness. It's now 2 by 2. Bunty's in with a chance of getting the podium here for sure. He's right in the mix of this. Scuba's up to 3rd. But Graham on the outside line. Bunty, much fresher tyres down the inside line. Scuba has to take the avoiding action off the racing line. He's going to rejoin on track. He's going to lose so many positions as a result. He loses, I think, 3 positions. As a result of that, crazy restart. Storm's on the back of Armour D, by the way. And suddenly it looks like the Inters are beginning to look like the better tyre. As now Storm is on the back of Armour D. And I never thought I'd be saying this. Storm is on the back of Armour D for a race win, possibly. Armour D leading the way, out on track. Storm's in 2nd. Bunty is now up to 3rd. Do you know how I said Bunty could end up winning this race? There you go. I need not say any more. Storm, though, on the back of Armour D. 70% of ERS compared to Armour D's 70% of ERS, so around the same area in terms of the ERS. But I don't know what's going to happen. Storm absolutely sends it down the inside line through Parabolic. A beautiful run out. The Inter's clearly better in terms of the grip, but in terms of the pace, I think maybe the dries are better. So now Armour D fights back on the run down and towards turn number 1. And Neymar is trying to steal my thunder there, I think, in the comment section. I did say it first. Listen back later on, and I said it first. Bunty will win. He was down in 14th position, for goodness sake. He's up to 3rd. Armour D, though, is really struggling to try and fend these guys off. Storm in 2nd. Bunty has absolutely came alive tonight. Honestly, absolute change in terms of his style, in terms of his driving tonight. He had a spin. He was fighting out for the lead with Armour D. He had a spin. He dropped down to P14. And because of the safety cars, he's in P3. Callboy, by the way, down the inside line of Atlas Cobalt. Gets the job done as Storm is out of the race. Coming out the exit of Lesbo Ward. Got caught on the outside curb. And then to VSC, it could well be enabled to be deployed into a full safety car. And it is again. It's another full safety car. I really should not say that we're going to get another safety car in this race, because we now have Storm's car is clear. Safety car now deployed out on track. And this is the craziest race I think I've ever commentated on. Armour D leads the way. Bunty in 2nd. Graham in 3rd. If you're Conti at this point in TTML F5, you're going to be having your absolute lucky stars, I think. They've just finished in F5. I will not ruin the result, but they've just finished in F5. And we are still on lap 23 now, out on track. But what does everyone do? Everyone just stays out, I think, at this point. I wouldn't like to think what is going to happen in this race. Key, by the way, still got another drive-through penalty to serve up as well. This is absolutely unbelievable. Maximus is into the pit lane. Probably to come on to a set of soft compounded tyres, I would imagine. Yes, set of softs coming on for Maximus. So he is into the pit lane from 11th. An absolute war of attrition. One of the craziest races that I think I've ever commentated on. And because of Maximus and Key being off the safety car, I don't think we're going to get DRS running for the rest of this race. Well, lap 23 now, safety car's got to stay out at least 2 laps. So, lap 25, we could have safety car either coming in before lap 25 or lap 24 onto lap 25. And we get 1 lap of DRS running. And even then, it's only going to be down the straight down and towards Ascari. That is all we're going to have in terms of the DRS running out on track. But who knows what's going to happen out on track tonight. My word indeed, says Sway. AJ has left the session. We do thank him though for attending. We thank everyone for attending. Obviously induced with a lot of crashes, and I'm sure a lot of incidents are going to be seen as a result of this race. But a top 3 updated prediction. I am not even going to make a gesture towards that. Not at all. I am not going to predict the top 3. My original top 3 stands. I mean, AJ's out of the race, but my original top 3 stands. And Imad is leading the way. Bunty in second, Graham in third. Maximus, by the way, my original top 3 was Imad, AJ, and Maximus. Imad's leading, so at least I'm going to get one thing possibly right. But to me, it seems Imad has spun! Imad has spun! Under the safety car! I do not believe what I am seeing here tonight in Italy! Imad has spun! Out of the final corner! He might take the race lead here! Is Bunty going to let him through? He does! And now Imad is back in, but look at this, this is just going to cause more chaos and more mayhem, and I think Imad is telling Bunty, you go through! Go through, and Bunty's not realising that. Bunty now goes through, and there we go. That was going to be an illegal overtake, essentially, out on track. And I think, also, he's got the same with Graham as well, and he stays in second. I do not know what is going on in this race. No question of a doubt. How on earth this is going to prepare me for an unannounced commentary next week is going to be absolutely insane. He might have used that reset to track button again. Of course, we'll have a look into that. I think, though, he didn't. I think he spun off into the right-hand side wall. Didn't pick up any damage. It was side-on contact. And you can see, actually, right side of the side pod. Watch. Coming through here. I think he's got side pod damage on that car. I think he's got side pod damage on this car. It'll be a better angle here. Coming through the Curva del Serralio. And there's just a minute speck, I think, of him having damage, side pod damage on that car. Safety car is coming in this lap, and we're only going to get one more lap of DRS running, and there's going to be no safety cars at the end. So this is pretty much it. This is it. You can't take any places back if you spin, and that's why Imad in second. Bunty now controls the safety car. And lap 25 out of 27 is about to begin. Tonturi has just been overtaken Jeffrey's AI. He doesn't care at this point either. And I'm sure Jeffrey's AI doesn't care at this point either, with him being down in last position. Bunty, though, out of the final corner, about to say go. Imad right on the back of him, and Bunty goes. What a restart that is, though, from Bunty. And you can see in terms of the traction, Imad did not get the best restart. And look at Bunty's a second clear, running down in towards turn number 1. 3 laps to go. God knows what's going to happen. Graham's on the back of Imad, running down in towards turn number 1. Bunty leads the way. Imad in second. Further down the field, it's going to get a little bit hairy. Cannibal looks to the inside of Maximus. Doesn't quite get the move done. Imad was fighting side by side there, I think, with Graham. And Graham got the better exit compared to him. And look at Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve is side by side with them. Coming out of Curva Grande. And now he's going to get the run on Imad. Do not risk this down the inside line, whatever you do. And to be fair, very respectful driving, and Scuba Steve is through, and he's into P3 as Graham nearly spins the car. And look at Scuba! Scuba Steve is through, and he's into second. Into suddenly coming alive towards the end of this race. This is mad. Imad now down into 4th. Yana, and now Graham dives it down the inside line as well. Got to be very careful, but look at the dries. They haven't got up to temperature. Suddenly, the inters are coming into play. Look at Atlas Copo fighting down in towards the Curva del Serralio. This is mad. Bunty leads the way. Scuba might win this. And Imad, and there's contact, and Cowboy's round, Maximus is round, Cannibal is round. And that was inevitable. The driving sanity, a little bit abysmal, to be honest. But this is mad. Bunty leads the way. Bunty's got 1.5 seconds, 1.8 seconds. Is that enough to fend off Scuba Steve? Scuba's deployment has already run out on this lap. But now look at him. 2 seconds the gap. And he could still win this. Key, by the way, is anticipating the Sotheby's remaining drive-through penalty. And Bunty leads the way. I am not saying this is done. This is not done. Look at Scuba. He's just caught 0.6 of a second coming out the retrofield chicane. Inters are clearly quicker than mediums now on this track, on this wettening track at the end of this race. Scuba Steve and Yana might win this. And it's between these three. It is between these three. I can't see it between anyone else now. Bunty leads the way. Steve now in second, but for how long? Yana absolutely sends it down the inside line. Much better exit out of the the Della Rocha chicane. He's through and he's into second. Great move that by the McLaren. He's through on the Alpha Tauri. Now, looking through as Kia spun coming out of the pit lane, Yana is 9/10 of a second off. Remember, DRS is going to be enabled next lap around, and this, with the fact that the Inters are quicker than the set of dries out there, means that Yana and Scuba have got a really good chance of winning this. But that mistake by Yana might have just brought Bunty back into play. I still think it's going to be the Inters that might come out on top. I do not know what is going to happen though. Absolutely mad. Absolutely mad race. Bunty out of the final corner leads, but look at the gap, it's a second. And he's only going to get one chance, Yana and Scuba, to run the DRS, and that is down through the Cova del Serralio, down in towards Ascari. Final lap has finally begun as Atlas Coppo now bears down on the back of Callboy. These two Division 2 rivals from last season about to square up down in towards turn number 1. And the Aston Martin and the Alpine down in towards 1. Callboy gets the move done, but he runs wide, and look at the run, and he gets a 3-second penalty for his pain as well. Callboy, I don't think we'll mind about that, but let's on right on board with the leader, because Yana right on the back of Bunty. Bunty's tyres now all of a sudden are shot, and he'll be hoping and gasping for air on those tyres. Yana makes a mistake, and that opens up the door for Bunty to once again just pull away slightly. This is not over and done with by any stretch of the imagination. Half a lap to go, and you can see how Bunty is taking so slow coming out of Lesmo 2. And now Yana, this is his one and only opportunity to strike, and he's going to strike. To the inside line he goes. Bunty blocks the way, makes the Haas look as wide as possible, but Yana tries to go around the outside line. He doesn't. Bunty is stoic in his defence, but Yana's surely going to get the run out of Ascari. Unbelievable racing. Bunty now has got to be careful. He wants this. But Yana now to the outside line, running towards Parabolica. One corner will decide it. Yana now to the outside line, has retaken the race lead, but Bunty shoved it down the inside line. It's still there, and look at Scuba Steve. Yana, I think, is going to come out on top. The flying fin of TTML F4 as Scuba's into the wall. Scuba's out of the race. Yana has won. Bunty in second. Graham in third. Scuba Steve meters away from the line. It's a photo finish between Callboy and Atlas Coppo across the line as well. Jeffrey's AI has finished 7th in all of this. Oh my god. Maximus to the line to finish in 8th position. You've got to feel sorry for Scuba Steve though, spinning it out of the final corner. He had such a phenomenal run. He had too much of a run, and he spun into the wall by himself. Maximus across the line to finish in P9. Cannibal across the line to finish in P10, an unserved penalty. Same with Key, he's still going to drive through, I think, and he's spun as well. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. He managed to serve up that drive through, but he's got no front wing on that car, and he is going to come and finish in 11th position. Yana, the flying Finn, has won out on track. Bunty is second, and Graham is third, and oh, I think we had a bit of a glitch there. We've got a migrating host, but my reaction just says it all. I'm speechless. Jeffrey's AI gets driver of the day, and he's probably the cleanest, and that is just one sight that you don't want to see on the F1 calendar. Oh my god. To the top step of the podium, Yana. I did say, last couple of laps, the Inters came into their own, and Yana has beaten Bunty. You have got to feel sorry for Bunty though. He did everything right. He had a spin. He was down in P14. He got nabbed right round the final corner. And that means Yana, out on top, has won. Let's run through the final grid order before my voice absolutely implodes. Yana out on top. Bunty had a 3-second time penalty in the end as well, so I don't think it would have mattered. But Yana has won. Second on the grid, somehow has won this race in what has been one of the craziest races I think I've ever seen. Bunty has finished in second, so unlucky. Graham in third, Tonsuri's in fourth, great drive from him. Atlas Copel 15th on the grid up to 5th. Callboy in 6th, Jeffrey there in 7th, 18th on the grid up to 7th. The AI drove very, very well. I'm a D has finished in 8th. He might relinquish the championship lead. Who knows what's going to be the fallout out of this race. Maximus across the line in 9th. Cannibal in 10th, Key in 11th. They're the only 11 to finish. Scuba, Storm, Ray Meader, AJ, Secret Dundee, Mitchell and Kermit all out of the race. 18 drivers started, 11 have finished. What an incredible, crazy race. Any adjective, any verb, any noun you could think of at this moment in time is exactly what I'm thinking, I think, at this point. And with that, thank goodness Conti didn't have to commentate on this with me for this one, but TTML F4 is at an absolute end for tonight, and I don't know where to end this stream. Of course, you can tune in for more action. I'm not sure if it's going to be as crazy as what we've just seen here in TTML F4. You can tune in for more action, of course, for BNL League 1 and League 3 tomorrow night, and League 2, of course, on Saturday as well, on Sunday, and then TTML Sim League, of course, on Sunday. And I've got a bit of an announcement to make as well. This will not be the final time you'll be seeing me on TTML F4 this season. However, I will be stepping down from my commentary duties part-time for TTML F4, and that is purely because of an announcement that's going to come over the weekend about a very, very good event that I'm going to be commentating on, and you can try and make up your own things as to guess what I'm going to be commentating on a Friday night. But that is going to be probably until the November, but on the races where they don't have races, I will be back in the commentary box to take you through the action for TTML F4. So we will have replacement commentators coming in, we have guest commentators filling in for us as well, but what a race maybe to go out on. Fantastic stuff from everyone here in TTML F4. I'm sure the driving standards will be looked at because they were quite abysmal out on track from everyone's perspective. But I will end the stream here. There's going to be no interviews, as I said early on tonight. My voice is gone. You can probably appreciate why. Thank you so much for watching TTML F4. And until, well, next week in Spain, I really hope it's not going to be as bad as this. But thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.